All right, so today we're going to discuss Caitlin Clark and the WNBA and the recent comments made by one of the View hosts, Sunny Hostin. Now, this isn't the first time me making a video about the ladies on The View, because obviously the last time we made a video, they said that men are basically useless and women don't need men. Now, we know that if any panel of men would say women are useless, that show would get canceled. That episode would never air. But, you know, women are allowed to be openly sexist towards men and misandrous towards men on national television with no repercussions. In my opinion, there are three people on The View that are in the running for the smartest dumb person on the show, and that would be Joy Behar, because she's constantly saying crazy, insane shit, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin. And right now, it seems like Sunny Hostin is just lapping them in a race at this point. She went around once and came back and lapped them, because there's no way that you can sit there and make the comments that she made with a straight face and not realize how fucking stupid you actually sound. Let me play the clip.
Look, I've been a basketball fan since I can remember. I played basketball with my dad in Harlem when I was 5 years old. So I remember loving the game, and the game not necessarily loving women back, right? At all. And the WNBA started in 1996. First games played in 1997. It's 2024, and we're just really now talking about it. And so if Caitlin Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem, I say yes, bravo. I have no problem with that. With that being said, I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so the part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay, not because she was black, but because they didn't believe in the WNBA.
This is part of my point. So now, you know, Caitlin Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma against the LGBTQ plus community. 70% of the WNBA is black. A third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community. And we have to do something about that stigma. In this country, I think that people have a problem with basketball playing women that are lesbians. Who cares? They are great athletes.
Now, I'm going to discuss some points from this clip. First one was being she mentioned pretty privilege. Caitlin Clark is not bringing eyes to the WNBA because she's pretty. She's not an ugly girl. I'm not by any means saying that she's an ugly chick or anything like that. But I don't think that people are tuning into the WNBA because they find her attractive. That's not usually why people tune into the sport anyway. Then she mentioned white privilege. Again, I don't know what white privilege she's talking about, when the reason people tune in to watch Caitlin Clark, at least when she was in college, was because of her record. There were stories every week about her achievements on the court. I have Caitlin Clark's record pulled up here, and I'm going to go over a couple of it, and I'm going to go over some of it so you can see why there's so much attention on Caitlin Clark that has nothing to do with pretty privilege, has nothing to do with tall privilege or white privilege. Caitlin Clark has the most points in NCAA history. She has the highest scoring average, most three-pointers in a season, most three-pointers in a career, most national scoring titles, and she has many more. I can go over a lot of the things right here she has accomplished while she was in the NCAA. Her record for points in a season is 1,234. The previous record, which was another high-profile individual, Kelsey Plum, had 1,109 points. There's an 11.3 difference in the new record. Career points per game, she's at 28.42. Previous record was Patricia Hoskins from Mississippi Valley State at 28.38. She has 201 three-pointers in a season. The next closest person was Taylor Pierce at 154. There's a 30% difference between the amount of three-pointers in a season. Not even Stephen Curry has gotten over 200 three-pointers in one season. So those are just some of her records, right? Just pointing out that it has nothing to do with white privilege, has nothing to do with pretty privilege. Then she mentioned Brittany Griner, which I don't even know what Brittany Griner had to do with this. She tried to make it about race, that Brittany Griner doesn't get paid because of race. Well, Caitlin Clark doesn't get paid much either. She gets paid $76,000 a year. That's not counting sponsors. That's just the money she's getting from the WNBA. She went to Russia to play because she wasn't getting paid, or she felt like she deserved more, but it had nothing to do with her race. And Whoopi Goldberg rightly points this out in the clip. She then mentions about being more relatable. Again, tying it to race because she's white and because she's pretty or whatever, but mostly tying it to race. That's not the reason why. I already outlined the reason why it is that Caitlin Clark is popular and is bringing eyes to the WNBA. It's literally her accolades. Nothing less, nothing more. And let's just give Sunny Hostin the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it is because of race. Let's say that it has something to do with race, that people are racist because the league is 70% black, like she said. Let's just give her that, right? That it's because of race. And now, so the white people have a white girl that they can go and watch now. Wouldn't it stand to reason that if she is a white woman in a black-dominated sport, in a majority white country, 70% of the United States is white. Wouldn't it stand to reason that, yes, more white people are going to tune in and just raw numbers to watch a white player if it was because of race? But to counter Sunny Hostin's point, if it's really about race, the NBA, the male version of the WNBA, the one that a lot of Americans watch, right, because it's actually fun to watch, is comprised of 73% black males. How come they have no problem getting a white audience? Is it maybe because WNBA is actually boring to watch? There's no fun. Listen, I'm going to play a compilation for you guys, so you guys can see what it is that happens in a lot of WNBA games.
Bonner. They teach each other some things, and passing is definitely one of them. A steal underneath, and who's on the floor? Sky players, less than a minute here. Copper all the way to the rim, but cannot connect. Tierra Ruffin-Pratt in transition. And the
knocks out from Clark. Here comes Lloyd. Howard looked like she got away with an illegal screen on Turner. Howard finishes it, no.
But at the same time, you have these staggered tips, and now you could potentially have teams that are the later round of
Bonner, plenty of room in front of her. Goes around the other side. Shot's not falling. Mercury is 1 for 8.
4 of 13 from the floor for Maya. Hayes thought about it. Dribbles in to trap it.
Washington is playing some great ball, but Phoenix got him twice this year. Already got 2 wins off of him.
Howard, the ball fake. Forced the hook. There was nothing there.
His goddaughter as well. Turnover at the top of the key, but Tierra Ruffin-Pratt gets it back a little too antsy with the handle.
Clark in the corner. Will back it out. Giving some space. Here is Clark. Her three. Off. Lloyd, the offensive rebound. She missed the putback. So did Howard. Rebound collected by Phoenix.
She then mentions LGBTQ stigma. Again, pretty accepting country. I don't think it has anything to do with LGBTQ. The game is literally boring. Nobody watches it. And you know what pisses me off? What pisses me off is that women get mad that no one's watching the WNBA. The United States is 51% women, 49% men. Why aren't women watching? Why is it on men to have to watch the WNBA? The NBA already subsidizes it. They're not profitable. They've never been profitable ever since it was created. The NBA as a whole is losing money with the WNBA because no one's watching, but somehow it's society's fault, mainly men, because I know that's who they're targeting, because they never talk about why women don't watch these sports. There's more women in this country than there are men. If half the women in this country cared about the WNBA would be wildly more successful than the NBA is. But they don't care, yet they try to pretend like it's our fault as men, for example, why the WNBA is not popular. I'm going to play a little short clip from Bill Burr that correctly describes...
I'm not saying no professional female athletes, Serena Williams, the women in the UFC, you know, but nobody's watching your fucking sport. And then you're going to come and you're going to get mad at fucking men. They keep doing that shit. Why are you yelling at us? It's not our fucking job. It's not my fucking job to give a fuck about women's soccer, okay? I have men's sport to pay attention to. It's your bullshit, right? Dude, look at the WNBA. Nobody in the WNBA got COVID. Nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. That's it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your fucking city. You can't do it. You don't give a fuck about them. They play night in and night out in front of nobody. It's a fucking tragedy, right?
He's completely right. Why is it on men to support women's sports? Why aren't women supporting women's sports? And then we can talk about pay. No one's watching. That's why they don't get paid the same as the men. You're expecting equal pay when you don't draw in the crowds. And look, I'm going to say something that I thought I'd never say. I'm not really a big fan of LeBron. I still think MJ is the greatest basketball player of all time. And I think that LeBron is a big flop and a crybaby. But I'm going to say that I have to agree with him on what he said about Caitlin Clark here.
So I think for my advice to Caitlin and my advice to anyone that comes in with this, this level of like notoriety, out of this world expectation, whatever the case may be, I just think it's all about having, be a horse, man. The Kentucky Derby, put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game, work on your craft, kind of keep your mouth shut, and just learn from the vets. When they ask, you voice your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on, because everybody is looking for you to say anything and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. From anyone that's, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing. I hope they do great. I'm just kind of in this mode right now because I'm getting the same, thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity and hatred towards him when he's just a kid trying to live out his dream. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulder. She seems like it. I don't think I've ever met her. I don't think I've met her before, but it seems like everything is going to be great for her because she's a great talent. She seems like a great gal. And I hope she turns that franchise around to where, Tamika Catchings had it at one point.
Anyways, honestly, what I think of this whole situation, I think that the women on The View just say these outrageous things, not because they actually believe them, or I don't know, they possibly could actually believe these things, but I think they say them just to create viral clips, just to remain trending, remain being talked about so that they can get more eyeballs, because there's no way that you can look at a woman like Caitlin Clark and say that it has to do with her race and it has to do with her being pretty as the reason why she's bringing more eyes to the WNBA. It's simply because of her stats, nothing less, nothing more. And if women watch the sport as much as men watch men's sports, the league would just be as popular and the women would be making the same, if not much more money than the men are. But like Bill Burr correctly points out, women love to see drama and women love to see women tearing each other down. That's why they rather watch the Kardashians. Those women are making billions of dollars doing reality TV. Why is that? Because that's what women are interested in watching. They're not interested in watching the WNBA. And my personal opinion is, if the WNBA wants to become exciting, they should lower the rim so that women can actually begin to dunk. And maybe the game will get much more exciting. Because you know how insane it is to watch a woman run across the court at full speed with the ball just to get up to the rim and lay it up? It's like the most anticlimactic ending to fucking anything exciting ever. It's fucking insane. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and follow me on social media. Join the Discord. Links are always in the description down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.